Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I am coming on this morning. Good morning, loves. I'm just waking up and before I get to work, that's what I said to myself yesterday. I'm gonna have to try to come on and do videos in the morning before I start working because once I start working, guys, it's over, right? Like my days are gone. I'm consumed with my work. So I'm gonna start doing some videos in the morning because I realized when I came on yesterday how much I missed you guys. I was like, oh my God, I haven't been on here forever. Good morning. Good morning. This morning, yesterday when I did my video, um, about boss chicks and how to date. Inside of my inner circle of coaches, there was one of my coaches who said, she said, "This is amazing. Thank you so much for your insight. Thank you so much for this video." And she asked a question. Tasha, I was so happy to see you guys too. Listen, I didn't realize it'd been so long since I'd been on, you guys, and it was like, oh my God, I've got to come on more. Thank you, Kenya. Thank you, sweetheart. Good morning, everybody. So I am going to start to come on more in the mornings, guys, before I, go to start writing my book and finishing up getting the new certification launched. Good morning. You've been such a great mentor. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. Okay, so this morning, I woke up and what was on my mind was that yesterday inside my inner circle of coaches, one of the coaches said, because I did that video because of the coaches, right? Thank you, Lena. And I did the video because of, remember I said I was in a class teaching coaches and they were talking about having these secret fears about being super successful and not finding love. So that's what prompted the video yesterday. And then one of my coaches yesterday in one of her comments said, "Good morning, blessings and abundance." She said, "Rebecca, there's this scenario. If you can, kind of give me some insight, I would really appreciate it." Robert, good morning. You have to do better about staying in touch with us, Robert. I know, Robert, right? I'm horrible. Guys, it's like, how can I say this? Like I started making videos and talking about stuff that would just be on my mind. And yes, it was built into my business because, I a love guru and helping people get unstuck and everything. And then I started coaching coaches and doing leadership and business stuff. And that kind of stuff seems to be a little bit more behind the scenes, but I know I've got to come and be with you guys, my friends, more often, but I've been so busy. And when my mind gets so preoccupied with my behind the scenes work, it's like I'm just like, go, 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 getting that stuff done. And then I'm forgetting about all of my friends over here on YouTube. So anyway, guys, so thank you, Shonda. Thank you. Good morning, Rose. Okay, so she gave a scenario, guys, where Casey, 2 mornings in a row. I know you guys are getting on me. Listen, okay, I needed it. I deserve it, guys. I needed it. Yes, I've got to do better, and I'm going to do better. So she shares a scenario. Okay, here's the scenario. She said she went out on 2 dates with a gentleman. They had a fabulous time, like a really, really great time. And then he came at her kind of in a different way and said he wanted her to plan the third date. And she said he started doing weird things. It was almost like she said, like he was like testing her, right? Like he was doing things to see or try to see if she was interested in him. And everything had been going great. Everything was flowing. And all of a sudden, it's like he started pumping his brakes. He started, kind of doing little weird things to test her. And even to the point that this third date thing became like a really big deal. Like he wanted her to plan it. He wanted her to do everything about it. And he was asking her to do this. And she just started feeling like really off and weird. And I said, "Sweetheart, here's what happened." So listen, people are hurting, guys. People are hurting. People have been hurt. You've got people you're going to meet and they can't help it. They're going to sabotage. they're going to play games, but they don't even realize that they're one of the people who are playing the games. You know how we talk about people who play games, talk about people who just won't be a straight shooter, you're meeting their representative, blah blah blah. So people who are doing this don't know they're doing this. This is what I want you to understand, okay? When you meet someone, they're very unaware of what they're doing. They're very unaware of the fact that they are actually testing. Guess what testing is? Testing is playing games. When you're not letting things just flow and getting to know someone and asking them questions and being your normal self. Because guess what testing is? Testing is this over analysis in your mind and the way it presents itself as wisdom. It's presenting itself as wisdom because I'm going to put myself in the man's shoes who was testing her, okay? This is my scenario for this gentleman. He was someone who had really fell for someone or was really into someone, and he gave her his all, because this is what men do when they're absolutely crazy about you and really into you. They're going to go hard, right? He's not asking you to plan no dates. He's not asking you, he's not testing you. All he's concerned with is getting you. All he's concerned with is securing the bag, securing the boo, right? That's his mind is like, oh my God, she's amazing. He's literally rolling out the red carpet. This is what you do when you have no hesitations, right? This is what you do when you have unabashed enthusiasm about someone, when you are absolutely enthralled and infatuated with someone when you first meet them. You're not sitting here like, let me see. Let's see if she's who she really says she is. Let's see. A man isn't thinking like that when he's all in and rolling out the red carpet, because he's too caught up in the challenge of winning you. Men are into challenges. Men love a challenge. But here's what happens, ladies. Sometimes men will do that with the wrong woman, or sometimes they'll do that with someone who isn't reciprocating, who isn't into them. And then they don't see all of the red flags and warning signs, right? That she wasn't into him. So now he keeps going with this behavior where he's literally, doing the most for her, doing everything. You're talking about dates and just special treatment and wonderful text messages, and then he could get into gifts and he thinks in his mind this is really going somewhere, but she could be on the receiving end of that, and sometimes it's not reciprocated. Then by the time he figures out that she's not into him the way he's into her, now he's hurt. Deeply hurt, depending out on how far it got before he figured out that it wasn't mutual. Now he's hurt, right? Now, or better yet, there was an experience, and so that is a rejection. Depending on what level it is, there's a rejection. And then there's also rejection that happens just some men have experienced rejection after rejection. And after a while, now they become hurt. That rejection begins to affect their self-esteem. It's affecting their ego. So now fast forward to my coach in the inner circle, right? And she's met this great guy and she really likes him. They go on 2 dates, have an amazing time. But then on the 3rd date, when he realizes he's really liking her, guess what he begins to do? Pump his brakes. Now he's pulling back because the memories of what he's been through with other women kick in. Now he's scared. But it doesn't come presented as fear, guys. It doesn't come in presented as fear. Your mind tries to tell you it's wisdom. Your mind tries to tell you, right, that you're just really making sure you're vetting them. And there's a fine line between vetting and qualifying someone and playing fear games, fear tactics, manipulating, the situation, and you don't often see it and think of it as manipulation. You'll think of it as, well, I just really need to make sure this time. I was in dating situations when I was single, guys, where I would meet someone really wonderful, and all of a sudden everything's going great, and then all of a sudden you just feel this dynamic shift where he's not being who he's been in those first few dates, which is what was getting me to go all in. And then all of a sudden he shifts, and I pick up and discern, because you know the Holy Spirit, right? I feel the shift and feel something's changed, and I have a very direct conversation and say, listen, you know, something's changed here. I really have enjoyed this time we're spending getting to know each other, but now it's shifted. And listen, I didn't hurt you. I'm not the one who did it. I didn't do it to you. I didn't cause the pain. I didn't cause the damage. And I'm a firm believer that you have got to stand firm when you see people beginning to do this, guys, to remind them, I'm not going to pay the price for what happened before me. You need to go work that out with a therapist. You need to go work that out in your inner soul searching, on your meditation and prayer pillow. That is some inner work that you're needing to do, but you're not about to put me and make me jump through hoops, right? Because some other chick hurt you, because somebody else let you down. And this is how hurting people are actually sabotaging love, sabotaging opportunities, right? It doesn't just apply to love. People who are hurt, right, will play games and sabotage lots of different situations. Right, Robert? Nothing wrong with vetting someone to make sure it's not a waste of your time. But this is what healthy vetting looks like. Healthy vetting is you being in a healthy place, key here, really, really key, to where you can trust your own judgment because you are aligned and at peace and not dealing with anxiety and pain and fear playing tricks on your mind. So you've done your inner work. It takes a healthy person to healthfully vet someone else and qualify someone. What does healthy vetting and qualifying look like? Going slow, methodical, not jumping in with 2 feet too fast, moving too fast, jumping into bed with someone too fast, right? What does healthy qualifying and vetting look like? Questions and answers, asking someone really important questions and really listening to the answers, paying attention to them, not just hearing what you want to hear because you want them to be the one. Guys, this is the tricky part about love. Everybody wants love so bad that we'll ignore what's right in front of us. I've seen situations with clients, guys, where literally you could ask a question. The person you're dating tells you point blank, I'm not looking for love right now. I'm not looking for anything serious right now. I'm not really ready for a relationship. I just came out of a divorce. I just came through a breakup. You know, I'm cool with just being friends. I'm cool with getting to know each other. But listen, right now, I'm just not really in a place where I'm looking for anything serious. People say this. They tell you. And women are really bad at this. Because a man will tell you point blank, I'm not looking for anything serious. Yeah, I'm really focused on my career right now. I'm really focused on this right now. They tell you. And then you still jump in with both feet. But then you're mad down the road when they're pumping their brakes. Like, look, boo boo, I told you I wasn't ready for nothing. I'm not serious. I told you this 8 weeks ago. I told you this 6 months ago. I'm not looking for anything serious. Yes, we slept together. Yes, we go on dates. Yes, I know I act like your boyfriend. Yes, I know I act like your girlfriend. But I told you, I don't want anything serious with you. I'm not interested in that. I'm not ready for that. Or I don't want it with you. Back to my video on when a man wants you, right, guys? There's signs. Then, right, Casey, we go into he's the one because you've been dating him for 4 months and he's so consistent and he may not be seeing anybody else or sleeping with anybody else, but it doesn't change the fact that he's emotionally unavailable. Emotionally unavailable. And he tried to tell you that, but you didn't listen. Now you kept going and now you're hurt. So then back to my coach, right, in the inner circle and her situation. So here comes the third date. And now he's trying to get her to jump through all these hoops. He says to her, well, I'm a catch. I'm the prize too. I'm a catch. He starts saying things like this. In other words, trying to flip the script on her to get her to start pursuing him. And she was like, what is going on right now? Like, what happened to this great guy that I just met a few weeks ago, right? And now all of a sudden, his insecurities have kicked in. The pain has kicked in. The memory of the pain has kicked in. The fear has kicked in. And he's backstepping, rolling it back. Now trying to say, well, I need to make sure she's really into me. That's right, Gregory, he's been dogged out. And that's what I told her inside the circle yesterday. He's been hurt. Someone took his kindness for weakness. Someone took advantage, right? And so then now here he is with a great gal. When I tell you great gal, she's one of my coaches in the circle. Great gal, beautiful gal. And here she is. He's met a really, really great woman. But what is he doing? He's sabotaging his opportunity for love with a really great woman because of what somebody else did to him. And this is how your past can sabotage your future. If you let past pain hold you back from pursuing someone great and being who you naturally would be, that's not who he was. That's not who he is. Think about it for a second. That's not who he is. It's analysis, paralysis by analysis. He's overthinking everything. Now he's changing his normal behavior that would have had her falling in love with him. But yet he holds back because of what other people did. Right? Now he's jacking it up. It's not that his behavior was wrong with the other women. It's that he was with the wrong women. That's right. He was posturing all that I'm a catch too. I'm the prize too. I'm this. Men don't talk like that. Men don't talk like that. Confident men don't talk like that. They lead with their actions. Confident men don't talk themselves up. Confident men will show you who they are. It's in their actions. It's in their positioning, right? Confident men, that's right. They talk positive to themselves. They know who they are. But with a woman they're really, really interested in, who they see as the catch, who they look at and say, oh my God, she's amazing. Oh my God, gotta get her, gotta have her. He's never going to be saying to the woman he's pursuing, the woman he really wants, that I'm a catch too. You need to show me that you're interested in me too. No, he's going to be looking for that. A confident man who's dealing from a healthy place, he will actually, all he needs from her is interest. All he needs for her is reciprocation, mutual interest and reciprocation. When he calls, she answers. When he texts, he answers. When he wants to go on a date, yes, I'm available. And he's like, okay, yes, okay, she's in. She's responding. She's available. She's not playing games. She's not holding back. She's just as interested, right? She's into me too. That's all the feedback they need, and they will keep going. They will keep going. But when people have been hurt and people have been damaged and they allow the previous experiences, and here's what you have to be able to do with your experiences, guys. You have to be able to evaluate maybe some behavior that you do need to change. If you've got some unhealthy, toxic behavior that you need to change when it comes to relationships and dating, you've got to do that self-awareness and self-analysis for yourself. But and get therapy. Thank you, Gregory. Get some therapy. If you need some counseling and coaching, get some help to work through what you're doing wrong. But you also have to be able to recognize. You have to be able to recognize when it's them. You can't internalize everything that people do and take it personal and say, oh, it's me. I've got to change this. Sometimes it's them. Sometimes it's them. Sometimes you have to chalk things up to say, I am amazing. I'm ready for love. I'm willing to be vulnerable for love for the right person. I'm ready. I've done my work. And you know what? They don't get, they're off. They're not it. Something's wrong with her. Something's wrong with him. If you can't see the value of the person I am and what God's put in front of you, I'm not for you. That's number one. I'm not for you. And I'm going to dust my shoulders off. Sometimes you got to dust your shoulders off and you got to keep it moving, right? Because at the end of the day, Casey, you can't heal people. And listen, you can't make somebody see things correctly. You can't make somebody value you. That's basics. Shelton says, what about soul ties when people are connected to their past and they don't even know it? Shelton, listen, it's deep. It's deep, Shelton. Soul ties are a mess. And you, listen, it depends on the depth of the soul tie. It depends on what you see in the person and in the value and what they bring to the table. My husband and I weren't perfect when we met each other. We're not perfect, but were we willing to do the work? Were we ready to commit and go all in and work through whatever we had to work through and help each other, and be supportive to our individual healing and supportive to one another to do the work we needed to do to keep growing and healing? Yes. And sometimes that's really what it's about, is about finding that twin flame, that soulmate, that purpose partner who sees beyond your faults and beyond some things you may be struggling with, to see the greater good, the greater in you, to see all the things that are so wonderful about you, and then look at the things that are, that need some work and say, when I met my husband and I realized some of the things that were going on with him, I said, I can work with that. That's not so bad to me. I think it's doable, especially if he's willing to do the work, if he's willing to get the help, if he's willing to work on himself, if he's willing to own it, right? If he's willing to own it, I can work with that. I mean, right? Like, I think that, ladies, if you've got a man, if you meet a man who's at least willing to do the work, you're not perfect. You're not going to meet anybody perfect. But if you're willing to do your work, I think the least we can expect from someone is that they're willing to do the work too, because that's someone you can grow with. That's someone who's willing to open themselves up and to self-analysis and awareness and do the work. I think the worst situations you can get yourself in is when you recognize things about people and they are in denial. They love to throw darts at you and accuse you of everything that's wrong with you, but yet they refuse to look at themselves and own the issues that they're bringing to the table. They're refusing to look at themselves and say, I need to work on this. I need to get help with this. You're right. I am struggling from this abuse in my childhood. You're right. I am struggling from my previous divorce and my ex and the things he said to me or the things she said to me. Or I am struggling with low self-esteem, and that's a personal, my personal responsibility. It's not anyone else's responsibility to make you feel good about you. When someone else compliments you, when someone else sees your value, that should just be affirming who you know you are. That's why it doesn't go to your head, because you already have healthy self-esteem. You already have a healthy self-confidence. So when people say things and believe in you and support you and love you, thank you. You're grateful for that. And you're grateful for the people who do see your worth, but it's not going to your head or making you vain, because you already know your worth. And a lot of people are out here dating, looking for validation. The ego, the human ego and mind, is a very tricky thing, guys. It's very tricky. A lot of you are dating, looking for validation. A lot of you are out here looking for people to make you feel good about you. About you. That's not good. You should not be out here looking for people who make you feel good about you. Is that part of the equation? Is it net? Yeah, you're not going to be with somebody bashing you, right? You're not going to be with someone who bashes you, but are you out here from a place of low self-esteem looking for identity? You can't, you're setting yourself up for major heartache and major distress and more pain if you go out here looking for someone to validate your identity or tell or contribute to who you think you are. It's a dangerous situation, because there are predators. There are people looking for prey. There are people looking and feeding on hurting souls, low self-esteem, low confidence, who will come along and just be using and abusing even more, because you're a willing victim. A willing victim. Yep, tricky. The ego is very tricky. I've met people over the years, guys, that will book consultations, and they're wanting to talk about love and dating and relationships. And I'm sitting there like, girl, you shouldn't even be dating. Why are you talking about men? Why? To a man, why are you talking about women? Why are you even focused on the opposite sex when you are a hot mess? A hot mess. You shouldn't be out here trying to date, and you are a hot mess. Your money's jacked up, your mental's jacked up, your physical's jacked up, you're emotionally jacked up, you're spiritually jacked up. And now you're going out here and trying to date, and you're trying to jack up other people's lives even more. You want to know the most common dynamic that I see in the dating world with singles? I was just having a really good conversation with my oldest son. I have to get ready to run, guys, because I got to work. My oldest son was in a relationship, and we had a conversation. It's been a very rocky relationship. He finally called me last week, and we were talking. He's in his mid-20s, guys. And he's like, Mom, I just don't know if I could do this. This is just crazy. I know I've got my own issues, but she's got, issues too, but she won't own it. And I said, son, run. That's what I said to him. Get out. I said, you're beginning to show a pattern where you tend to fall for project women. You tend to fall for broken women. That healing heart that he has from his mama, he just don't realize it yet, right? That heart of a healer, that ministry heart, causes him to be attracted to women who are hurting, because he's trying to be Captain Save Up. What? I'm not going to say the word. I'm being good this morning. And so guess what? He tends to keep falling for these little hurting souls. And so this is what happens. Then you get into it and you're realizing this is so crazy. And I said, now imagine if you were to marry her and you were to have children, how jacked up this would be. Because whenever he's talked about therapy or them getting help, she is completely adamant that she's not going to get help, she doesn't need help, and that she doesn't have the issues. So the most common dynamic I see in the dating world, guys, is good men falling for hurting women, and then they start getting hurt again and again. Now they become hurting men. And you've got good women who are healthy, and then they fall for these hurting men who jack them up. And so you've got this vicious cycle to where it's constantly good men being attracted to people who are going to hurt them, good women being attracted to women who are going to hurt them. And it's just this vicious cycle. In the meantime, you're really good people and healthy people who should be getting together don't really get together because your opposites attract. You're attracted to the opposite of what you are. And you think that you can help them. You think that you can help heal them. You think you can make them do their work. You can't make them do their work. Falling for hurting people. And that's the common denominator. So get help, get therapy, get coaching, guys. I love you. I've got to go do my work, right? Listen, our 8-week certification is coming for those of you who want to be abundant life coaches. The Coach Consortium, my inner circle of coaches, is closing on Friday. If you are wanting to be in my inner circle of coaches, and make sure that the membership in the inner circle gives you discounts on all my certifications and classes. Guys, listen, I'm going to have relationship coaching certifications coming. I've got healing coaching certifications coming. I've got all kinds of stuff that I'm working on. If you know you're a healer, you know you want to be doing the work to help make a difference, how we talk about all these issues, guys, and you know there's a calling on your life to help make a difference in people's lives, you need to be getting inside my inner circle, and you need to be thinking about becoming a certified coach. Okay, I'll put the links up above in the video. Love you guys. Mwah. Inner Circle closes Friday. Make sure you get in. Sign up for the coaching certification as well. It's coming, a new 8-week certification. We're going to be able to get done in 8 weeks. Love you to pieces. Blessings in abundance. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Love you guys.